Well, turning to East Africa, Somalia's new president, Abdullahi Mohamed, better known as Farmajo, is already working hard to tackle some of the nation's major issues. Among them is the devastating drought that is gripping 6.2 million of his country's 12.3 million residents, for which he has declared a state of disaster. VOA's Paula Sisco has more on the challenges facing President Farmajo.
Somalia is rapidly deteriorating, and the likelihood of famine is increasing. That, according to reports from the International Organization for Migration. The organization says a growing number of people are fleeing to Ethiopia in search of food and basic services. President Farmajo has his work cut out for him, and he knows it. The nation is still suffering from decades of civil war, and it hasn't had a stable leadership or an effective central government since the fall of former dictator Mohamed in 1991. The president says it'll take another 20 years to fix his country. He lists his nation's most pressing and essential issues as security, drought, the rule of law, and the implementation of justice and reconciliation.
This government is the people's. It is for you, and I promise that I will return power to you.
Just days after his inauguration, Britain pledged a $125 million aid package, providing emergency food relief for up to 1 million nearly famished Somalis. President Farmajo is also promising a crackdown on corruption. Election observers believe Somalia's presidential candidates paid out millions of dollars to voters in parliament in the run-up to the election. Farmajo was a surprise winner, defeating his predecessor, Hassan Sheikh Mohamed, and former President Sheikh Sharif Ahmed. To help him turn things around, he's appointed 48-year-old Hassan Ali Khairi, a political newcomer, to the prime minister's post. He's a former aid worker and oil executive with dual Somali and Norwegian citizenship. The militant group Al-Shabaab continues to battle successive United Nations-backed Somali administrations. Many lives were recently lost when a car bomb ripped through this market in Mogadishu, only days after Farmajo's election by Parliament. President Farmajo promises a much-needed rebuilding of the national army to meet the ongoing al-Shabaab terror threat. Political observers say that while drought exacerbates famine, it is armed conflict that prevents farmers from planting crops and tending to their livestock. Despite very real climate factors at play, famines are almost always the result of man-made conditions. The violence prevents aid from reaching the needy. In 2011, when the last famine struck Somalia, 260,000 people died. Paul Sisco, VOA News, Washington.